Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. This is really a bit of a tweak guide in addition to my setup video that I posted just yesterday actually, but it feels like it was forever ago, simply because I do feel that Windows Mixed Reality and Microsoft Flight Simulator are posting quite a number of different updates, so we need to stay ahead of this really, and this is crucial. So first of all, I'd just like to point out that something I said in my video about the Rift S got some of you guys a bit upset, because I mentioned that it could actually be, and I emphasize could be, the best headset for this sim for most people. You know, I think really what I'm saying there is that the asynchronous time warp software that Oculus provides is the best in the business, and it means you can go down to 20 frames per second. For most people with medium systems, that is going to be the better choice, because in terms of the important aspects of VR, number one is smoothness. If you haven't got smoothness, if you haven't got fluid motion, then everything else falls down. All the clarity, all the great audio, everything falls down. But I'm pleased to say that the actual public release of VR in this sim has made a huge difference to performance. And I can say quite clearly at this point that the Reverb G2 is by far the best headset to use for this sim. So don't worry guys, you can now sit down again and relax, okay? But anyway, this is the big deal for this video. You can get up to a 50% increase in frame rate. I certainly did. If you click this brand new option here, Custom Render Scale. Now think of this as the same method used in SteamVR for their resolution scaler, in which, by the way, they have set both the G1 and G2 incorrectly in that sim for many years, particularly for the G1, which means all that brilliant performance you're getting in DCS and X-Plane is because the Reverb G2 isn't actually rendering at native resolution in the first place. So we can back this off a little bit, guys. Don't worry, it's fine to back it off. You know, end of the day, the Reverb G2 is going to be around for a long time. And as the software iterations get better with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you'll be able to increase this. But for now, if you're struggling with frames, you know, if you're fine, then you don't need to watch this video. Go fly. But if you are struggling for frames, then just knock this down to about 70%. I've actually got mine at about 65, but even 70 is fine, because what's been happening is the OpenXR developer tool has been changing this automatically and not doing a very good job of it either, and making it's probably just doing this all the time in the background, which is just a nightmare. Now you can manually change this yourself. Now 60 or 70% is it sounds terrible, guys, but it actually doesn't have such a bad impact on the visual clarity as it would if you change the render scale in the sim. So if you go into the sim, then change that back to about 70 or 80%. Now with my 1080 Ti card, with preview mode on, I can get a solid 30 frames per second. You can see here, we're flying in Innsbruck. I've got real world weather, there's showers all around me. This scene is absolutely gobsmacking. I can look down on the ground, I can look all around no matter what I do. And by the way, this is Orbex Innsbruck. It's a really high intensified area simply because of this add-on and all the weather I've got here. I've got all my settings on either medium or high. If you don't know what my settings are, please check out my setup video. And everything is absolutely heaven. It's aviation heaven in the G2, guys, this sim. It's absolutely brilliant. And now for my final tip, guys. I've seen so many comments basically asking for help because their Rift S isn't even working, or say, you know, their Windows Mixed Reality headset is using SteamVR when it should be using this tool. Well, that's basically down to your OpenXR runtime. You need to go into your reg editor and type this into the bar. I'm going to put this in the link in the description below. Okay, so don't worry, it's actually really easy, so don't stress too much about this. Right, paste that in there. You'll get to this point here. This is your active runtime, and in this value here, the link here, is what is Microsoft Flight Simulator using for your runtime. Now, if you've got a Rift S, you need to navigate to your Oculus folder. It might be slightly different than this. It might be C drive most likely. Mine's D drive. Copy that, and then go back to Active Runtime, right-click, modify, and then paste that in there. Click OK. Now you'll be able to use your Rift S. Say you want to use SteamVR for whatever reason. I've got to say, I will stress that SteamVR doesn't run as well as Windows Mixed Reality OpenXR plugin. I think that's some people who are getting really bad frame rate is because they're using SteamVR. Don't use it, guys. Honestly, that is my advice there. But if you do want to use it for any reason, right-click, modify, and then, of course, again, copy your sort of link, I guess, to wherever your SteamVR application is. Now, I'm going to put that in the link in the description below. So all you need to do is copy and paste. It's as simple as that, guys. I know it's a bit technical, but it's worth your time. So, to recap, change your render scale in OpenXR Developer Tool. You could try this in SteamVR as well, although I've noticed 70% in SteamVR makes the frame rate pretty awful. Or, as I say, use the Windows Mixed Reality platform, which is the best way to do it. And then change your active runtime to whatever headset you're using. And then you'll get smooth, beautiful frame rate like you've never seen before. Here we are again in Innsbruck. And I tell you what, guys, I've got to say, since the public release of VR has now hit, in the Reverb G2, this is my new favourite sim for VR. I'm going to struggle to go back to X-Plane, even with those motion controller support. Don't get me wrong, I will, and I love X-Plane. It'll still be on my hard drive, and I'll be using it loads. But if I had to pick one, it would be the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's just the best. It really is, and I can't wait to see what Laminar will do in response to this in the coming months and maybe the next year. It's going to be a very exciting time for flight simulation and VR. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Take care. I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.
Look at this, guys. What can I say? It is just the most incredible immersive experience we have got today. It blows X-Plane out of the water. Even though we don't have motion controllers right now, which probably is the biggest negative, to be honest, of VR, is the fact that, you know, you haven't got motion controllers so you can reach around the cockpit. That's a big deal, and I really miss that. And I think that's the one reason why I will still have X-Plane 11 on my hard drive for VR, because it's still a brilliant experience. There's nothing wrong, guys, with X-Plane 11 and Microsoft Flight Simulator being sort of in the sort of flight simulation VR genre together. I think you should have both flight sims. I think they can live together because they both provide a different experience, without a doubt. It is absolutely friggin' awesome. It is incredible. And this is early days, guys. Things are going to get better and better, particularly next year once we get the 30 series graphics cards come out. I will be upgrading my computer at some point in the near future, but quite honestly, it's running really well, even on my 1080 Ti card with the G2. We are living in an age where VR is just exploding in the flight simulation sort of genre, and it is just absolutely awesome. I am speechless. Well, I'm not actually. I'm yabbing on like a bloody crazy little kid because I am living the dream, guys. So, please let me know in the comments, how are you finding VR in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator? I am so happy that I can finally bring you content. This is the start of a new series where we're going to go deep, you know, in depth on this sim. And, you know, I'm going to bring to you so much more. You know, I can't even talk. I'm really struggling to even string a sentence together, as you can probably tell, simply because the experience is that good. Right, guys, anyway, we're going to go for a landing here at Innsbruck, and I'll see you all again very soon.